when I was in college, I was in my last semester of school, and I was maybe a few months from getting ready to graduate, and I got some really tragic news. I mean, some really, really bad news. And I remember going to one of my classmates, and I said, I think I'm going to drop out. I was like my last few months, man. I was getting ready to graduate. I said, I think I'm going to just drop out. I got to focus on this issue, and I'm just going to come back at it sometime next year. And they said to me, I'll never forget, they said, why would you do that? I said, I just told you, I had things come up in my life right now, and I got to focus on that. And this is what they told me, and it stuck with me, Connie. They said, life is going to always happen. Why would you quit school when you're just about to graduate? Because you think there's going to always come an opportune time for you to finish school. But life is going to always happen. And you know what, Michael? They were right. Because right after that issue, something else came up. And right after that issue, something else came up. And right after that issue, something else came up. And if I had quit school and not graduated, I would have never finished, because I would have been waiting for the opportune time, the time when everything lined up just right. The time when everything was going well and everything was flowing and everything was cool. I would have been waiting around for there to be nothing wrong. I come to tell somebody, if you're waiting for everything to be right to do anything, you won't do anything. If you're waiting for everybody to support it and the stars to line up and everybody to agree with it, you'll never get anywhere. I'm glad I decided to stick with it, Michael. Because here's what happened. I went through the crisis and I graduated at the same time. Some of you, the problem is that every time you run into a crisis, you take your hands off of the important thing. So what happens is this. Every time something hits you, you drop the project. You run from the relationship. You quit the job. You leave the church. You take a sabbatical from the ministry. You walk away from your close relationships. And then you come back 3 months later and jump back in. And then something else happened, you jump back out. And then 2 months later, you jump back in. And you never fully accomplish anything. You never finish anything. And you are sitting around the room right now with all these incomplete projects, broken relationships, unrealized dreams, because you thought that in order for you to be successful, everything had to be just right. And here's what God wants to tell you. It won't ever be just right. If you're waiting for the right time to sow, you'll never do it. You could have been started the business. You could have had your degree by now. You just think, if you hadn't let that thing derail you, you could have accomplished that by now. But you let everything, you didn't know how to stick to the task. Can I tell you, everybody got problems. Everybody in here that's accomplishing anything has had issues and problems. You're no different. It's not like they had all the money and all the support and all the friends. It's not like they had a deep strategy. That everybody in here is like Nehemiah building a wall. They got a sword in one hand and a trowel in the other. What am I saying? I'm saying that if you're going to accomplish anything, you got to fight with one hand and build with the other. That you can't allow the fight in your life to distract you from the building that you must do. Can I take my time? Are you getting something out of this already? That if you're a person who's waiting for the perfect weather, the perfect time, then you'll never get anything accomplished, because life doesn't work like that.